Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Voices of the Voiceless podcast, live and in living color, sort of. We don't like to judge anyone by the color of their skin or the voice at which they talk with, because where was I going? Where was I going with that? I had something good. I don't remember. Oh well. Either way, I try to do a run, or a run, and here I go. I'm already a little late, halfway down of our agenda already. I was trying to think of something creative for the intro because things are happening, things are changing. We're rocking and we're rolling.
Well, it could be you're drunk, so you just kind of
No, you know what? No, I wish that was the case, honestly, but no. I had like 4 or 5 at my parents' house, and I came home, and it's only about 8 minutes away. It was the bad blue light, nothing crazy. So no, I'm drinking a Coke right now. I'm going to switch to some other beverages of the alcoholic persuasion a little bit later, but not until after the podcast. We promote sober podcasting. Don't drink and podcast. Trust me.
That sounds like that's spoken like a guy who's said some things he regrets.
No, never. I've never done that. But you know what guy said something he did regret? That's Vince Russo, because he and I conversed on the Twitter machine this week. I told you about this.
Yeah, he's an interesting fellow.
Did I tell you what happened? I know I had to have.
I know you did, and I also saw it as well.
So, okay, long story short, he, as soon as Sami Zayn came out, he tweeted "taxi," and I'm like, oh, astute observation there. And I said, that's funny. He's more over than most of the men on the roster. A lot more over than your friend Roman Reigns, and accomplished wrestler, had a 5-star match, the whole deal. And he tweets back "taxi," to which then I didn't respond, because I would have said, well, it's nice to know you have a very vast vocabulary. I'm surprised that someone even hired you.
Big yellow taxi. Anyway, go on.
I don't understand why he hates Sami Zayn so much. It's only because Zayn's more over in half a year than Russo ever was on, or most of the guys he booked were ever on television.
Yeah, but John, you're not counting the fact that Vince Russo is a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Good. Where's WCW?
He flushed it down the toilet.
Next. Yes, with David Arquette. See, you know what? I somewhat respect his opinion, but then he booked David Arquette as heavyweight champion, so it just immediately goes away. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, welcome back, everyone. It's episode 49, almost at the big 5-0. Halfway to 100. Holy shit. And who knows? I might get buried alive tonight. We'll see. I doubt it, but I never try to rule anything out. But, after last week's burial of our former intern Gary, we have a new one, apparently.
We do have a new one, and I'm proud to announce, after firing that lazy, disgusting piece of shit Gary, we finally have a real intern who knows how to do the job. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Big Mark. Big Mark.
What does Big Mark do for a living?
Big Mark goes to wrestling shows for a living.
Does he dress in a special attire?
He doesn't have a real job.
Okay. Who's he dating? What's the situation? Does he?
He asked me not to say.
Does he dress up in a special way at each event? Does he have like a theme, or is it just random?
He does. He does.
Oh, do you know what it is? Because you have the clown, you have the sign guy, you have the guy with the green shirt. I think he stopped going. Frank Max, maybe, I don't know. So I mean, everyone kind of has their thing. What's Mark's thing?
Mark wears the fat suit.
Mark, where's the... Okay. You sure it's a fat suit?
Well, I don't know. Actually, it's a good point. It may not be a fat suit. He may actually just be fat.
Okay.
Good point. But Big Mark is his name. That's what he goes by. He's taller than Finn Balor, but much fatter. And he goes to a lot of wrestling shows. We love Big Mark. We're very happy to have him on the podcast.
Do you know who his favorite wrestler is?
His favorite wrestler is Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I hired him immediately.
All right. Well, now, one last question before we get to our tweet of the week, which is, I think, your favorite. Whenever he doesn't get his way when he watches pro wrestling, what happens? Does he retaliate? Does he write about it? Does he complain to his buddy Ted and they tweet their displeasure? What does he do when he's unhappy with wrestling? I have to know.
He gets angry on the internet.
Oh, does he have a blog? We can publish it right here. We can give him a cheap plug.
I don't know if he has a blog or a Twitter. I know he gets angry on the internet. He needs a diaper change, and it's still real to him. Damn it! But
are you sure? Are you just taking the guy that cried at an indie show and said it was real to him, and just using that character? Or is Big Mark a real guy?
It's still real to me, damn it!
He reminds me of George Costanza. I can't help it. For those of you who know Seinfeld, you get an A+ this week. Good for you. All right. So moving on from that piece of trash who likes to... I'm talking about Big Mark. Sorry. I don't need to like him. You're the one that pays him. Moving on from one fat, overgrown Mark of a fan to another one in our tweet of the week. So... You picked it. You tell us.
The tweet of the week belongs to Big Banter Corbin.
And
ladies,
never mind.
Well, no, I want to hear what you have to say.
You're so biased; it's not even funny.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Sure. Carry on.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting me. So, the actual tweet of the week, the Cesaro Scorpio, whatever the fuck, who cares? You know what? I'm not promoting this jabron. Tweets at Baron Corbin and says, "You're a professional wrestler. Lift some weights or do a sit-up. Good God. Hashtag Smackdown Live. Hashtag overrated." Maybe he's best friends with Mark. I don't know. I looked at this guy's profile picture. He's fat. He's certainly never played in the NFL. He's certainly not a grappling champion. He's certainly not a 3-time Golden Gloves boxing champion. He's certainly not Baron Corbin.
And he's not a scholar. He didn't have a comma and an E or an apostrophe E for your. He put Y-O-U-R, so he didn't go to school.
And he doesn't have a degree in sociology and a minor in psychology. He's nowhere near Baron Corbin's league. So Baron responds to this Twitter troll and says, "It's your girl's fault. She keeps bringing cookies over late at night." You damn right.
Would it ruin it for you if I told you Baron Corbin's real name? Because it isn't very intimidating.
It's Tom.
Tom Pestock.
Yeah.
From Lenexa. Is that Kansas? That's Kansas, yeah. I don't know geography real well. He's 6'8". That's awful. They told me he was 6'11". See, they lied. They were lying about his height. Can you believe? He's short. He's too short, I tell you.
Yeah. He's practically Finn Balor.
No, he's not, because Finn's the face of Raw in his first day.
The face of Raw the first day.
He is.
Oh, my God.
So so that was your tweet of the week. Thank Big Mark for getting that. It truly was the best one of the week. I couldn't think of anything better personally. All right, so Dean's coming through. I was gonna say a hurricane's coming through. Oh no!
And back.
I have the giggles tonight. Enjoy giggles for week 49. So Dean's coming through, and I don't know what he's gonna say. I didn't. Usually, I proofread the run-ins because I'd rather be more comfortable knowing what he has to say than just letting him go. But I'm gonna give Dean the benefit of the doubt. So without further ado, I can't even. I just can't. I can't even. Here he is. I hope. Is it gonna work? Here he is.
Tonight I'm talking about the world title and the universal title and the direction WWE is going overall. I like, from the beginning, of course, last week I talked about Finn Balor defeating Roman Reigns and facing Seth Rollins. I think that's fantastic. It gives something new and fresh. But then SmackDown pulled a trigger. And on what was an otherwise lackluster show, Dolph Ziggler won the chance to face Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship. So a lot of people were like, really now, Dolph? Why now? But Tuesday night, they made it interesting. And once again, I've talked about planting the seeds of reality into things. Dean Ambrose did it. He went there. I spent the entire time watching that promo going, damn, Dean, damn. And then Ziggler pulls out the male cheerleader line, which I thought was hysterical. And they brought some rooted reality into this story. That is fantastic. That makes it interesting. And now the onus is on you, the WWE Universe. Tune in. SmackDown's ratings were down. Okay, they weren't going to be as high as they were for the draft. I get that. And they're still higher than they were in January. Tune in. You guys have complained that you don't want Cena shoved down your throat. You don't want Roman Reigns shoved down your throat. Tune in. They're giving you what you want. They're giving you matchups you want. They're giving you fresh matchups. They're giving you interesting matchups. They're giving you interesting content. Tune in for it. As far as the direction of Ambrose and Rollins, Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, my apologies. I really, even though the seeds were planted for a Dean Ambrose heel turn, I liked the character shade. I don't like wacky Uncle Dean. I don't think anyone does. I think people want Dean Ambrose with an edge, even if he's a face. He had some heelish moments in that, but he's still a face. I want to see Dolph Ziggler go. I want to see him go full Shawn Michaels heel. This is the only scenario where I would want Kevin Nash back in WWE. I want him bringing back Kevin Nash to be his bodyguard. I want him to start dressing like Shawn Michaels. I want him to start hosting the Heartbreak Hotel on SmackDown because it will draw heat. It will draw such intense heat for him to be an imitator of Shawn Michaels that people have basically said that he could have been the next Shawn Michaels. He reminds me of Shawn Michaels. Just go full with it. Be a heel, be interesting, and then you, the universe, tune in. Don't interrupt my close, Brad and John. This is Dean, I am Petro with the weekly run-in. Now you may go.
Fuck you. Dean's in his prime. He can kick our ass. Just saying. I was sitting next to him at Raw a few weeks ago, and I had to, curdle my arms because he has those big traps that make his arms extend like you walk like you're carrying two big bags of ice, but there's not really ice. It's just how big your arms are. It's Dean, I'm telling you.
Wow. Well, was he kind of giving the eyeball?
No. Trust me. I think Vince was through the curtain.
Oh, okay.
So I know we're gonna really. You know what? Why don't we do something different? Why don't we just touch on Dean's run-in while we do the show reviews? I think that would make the most sense because he really hit a lot of good points that I think we were going to make. And by looking at your Twitter machine earlier this week on Monday and Tuesday night, you guys shared a lot of the same viewpoints. So aside from the Michaels thing, I really want to know you know what? Let's do that now. Aside from everything else he said, the comment about him imitating Shawn Michaels. Okay. As a 23-year-old heartthrob, I think it would work, but I don't think it'd work as well as they think it would to make it not worth it, because I don't know about how much of the audience really knows who Shawn Michaels is.
Yeah, I mean, I would be totally fine with it. I mean, I think a critique of Dolph Ziggler, I guess, over the years would be that he's kind of like the Walmart version of Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but
this is where you react.
Yeah. Well, no, it would draw heat though.
No, I love what they're doing with him. I think they should go full. I agree with them. I mean, I think they should go full force with it.
Were you expecting me to like lash out at you or something? No, I know. I'm like I said, this is the giggles week on the VOTV podcast. I'm not going to sit here and trash what you think. No, never. I've never done that before. I'm wearing an Apollo Crews. I'm wearing an Apollo Crews shirt right now. I feel I'm on top of the world.
Well, I was going to say, well, then you can't bash anybody if you're wearing an Apollo Crews t-shirt.
That's right. I'm the Intercontinental #1 contender. You're damn right.
You certainly can't feel on top of the world if you're wearing an Apollo Crews t-shirt, because he's short.
Everyone can climb and walk. Okay, he can simply walk.
That's
to the top
true.
of the world.
The world has plenty of ladders.
I think Jericho has a few. What do you call them? Elevator shoes.
Yeah. He's got to get some of those lifts that Kane and Jericho wear.
Kane doesn't need whatever. All right, we'll touch on Ziggler when we go to SmackDown. So let's start off with Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And their damn cool intro. I think I'm the only one, as I hiccup. I think I'm the only one that likes the theme because I'm a big Shinedown fan. So I immediately like it. But it's another generic rock theme. It's not Nickelback, so plus. There's a lot of hate. Why is there so much hate for the Raw intro? I don't get it.
I mean, anything that was getting away from the outdated Nickelback song, I think, was a plus. So yeah, automatically, sure. It scores points for that automatically. But I mean, it's fine. I had no problem with it. It's not like super great, but it's not bad. I mean, it's fine.
No, not at all. All right. Well, anyway, the opening segment with Jericho, Charlotte, Banks, and Jericho. Sign me up. That was outstanding. The chemistry that Sasha and Enzo had were out of this world. Charlotte had a good burn. Jericho was funny. I mean, we learned about the shot put champion of 2008 in his backstage segment with Owens. But those four were very spot on. They were on their game. I loved it. Went on a little bit too long, but I liked it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought it went on too long. It was too long. It should have been shorter. The whole segment was way too long if you include the match. I mean, that was like, I think that was a 33-minute segment or something like that, or longer. It was really long. Maybe 38 minutes. I don't know. It was a long time anyway, is the point, and that's just way too long. That being said, it was really good overall, I thought. And, Chris Jericho was in the zone right now. I thought he's just really, really good. He's just like, he's in the zone. So it was really great on his part. And, I don't think you should ever have Sasha and Charlotte going back and forth on a promo that long, but they did well too. I enjoyed it. And, the only thing I would say is let's close the little gaps in the logic here. Why is Enzo coming out without the big guy, the Heat, the big Cass, all of a sudden? And why is Chris Jericho out to defend Charlotte all of a sudden? What is the bond there where he suddenly has to come out to
their heels
defend her honor?
Their heels.
But, yeah, I mean, those are minor points, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that led right into my favorite wrestler of all time, Braun Strowman, who, again, dealt with another jobber.
Braun!
I love it. I love it so much. And you see his ponytail has hair extensions on it? It's almost down to his butt. It's great.
I fucking hate it.
I love it. I love it all. So Byron Saxton interviewed the guy in the middle of the ring, and he says if he wins, he gets $5,000. James Ellsworth must be pissed because he was not offered a $5,000 victory fee if he beat Braun in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. But the way this Braun pushes, they have to be laughing in the back, right? It's comedy. It's not serious. It's funny as hell. But
I really enjoyed them doing the purse and having him talk about what he gets if he wins and what he gets just for being there and losing. That's something that's old school in a lot of wrestling promotions outside of WWE. And I really like it's kind of adding like a realistic sports element to it. It allows you to suspend disbelief. So I really, really enjoyed that part. I think Braun, I like the squash matches to build up talent you want to push without doing it at the expense of other guys. Mm-hmm. That's a really smart idea, and it's the oldest thing in wrestling, so it's really, it's a no-brainer. But, Braun Strowman in these squashes, it's still not good. It's like he's got a terrible, I just hate how he looks. I hate his face. I hate his hair. I hate his outfit.
I love him so much.
And I'm like, really it's not even like I hate it like he's a bad guy and I want to boo him. It's just kind of like, go away. His squash matches are just like, he's so limited in what he can do, and his finisher is terrible. This reverse choke slam. He's never. I mean, do you realize how stupid that's going to look on an average size wrestler? How is he? It's going to look stupid. It's going to look foolish. He's not going to be able to. It's just he needs a new finisher. He needs to tighten up his look a little bit. But he's really going to be exposed when he starts wrestling guys on the main roster again. I mean, I'm sure of it. So while this is building him up and they want to push him, and Vince has a hard-on for him again, and that's great. I like the idea of the local jobbers. I just think, man, this guy is just a fucking dud. He reminds me. It's true. Look, it's my opinion. You don't have to like it. You just have to deal with it.
That's true.
And, he reminds me of a typical generic 1980s mid-card heel jobber.
He is beautiful. Deal with it.
He looks like Eugene on steroids.
Hey, did you see what my Twitter put out earlier today? Huh? Did you see it? Gene Snitsky is teasing a return at SummerSlam. We could see Snitsky versus Braun Strowman. Yeah.
It wasn't his fault. It certainly won't be his fault if they book that match at SummerSlam. But everybody will pay for that. That would be brutal.
So good. I if that happens, I'll be the biggest mark. Whatever. Okay, so we had two good segments in a row. And then we got the Shining Stars beating the Pokemon Go, Truth, and whatever the golden...
The Pokemon Golden Truth. That's what they are. They're the Pokemon Golden Truth. Because they're the Golden Truth, and they play Pokemon, and they get distracted and lose matches. So, the Shining Stars win once. I think it's their first win ever.
They suck. Okay, so they say come to Puerto Rico. If it's so great, why aren't they there?
They've got to go back
forever. I told you what I want their gimmick to be. They're stuck in Puerto Rico. They lost their green cards, so they fight on the black market in the main streets of Puerto Rico to get new green cards. And so they beat up jobbers in final deletion shit matches and shit and stuff. Yeah.
Here's what they should do. The Shining Stars should change their gimmick. Turn them into two illegal Mexican immigrants. And their gimmick is going to be that they're proud they're illegal. They don't want to go back. And they're costing everybody a bunch of money and stealing their jobs. That's what it should be. Think about how that gimmick would get over. It would pop the audience huge.
You're being sarcastic because you just made a Trump reference. You're not clever.
I don't know. I mean, it's something different, right? It's something different.
I saw where you were going with that a mile away.
Look, we can't all book taxi drivers and lawn lawn care people. We've already got the Sami Zayns and Kevin Owens.
Oh, jeez. Don't give in to Vince Russo's shit. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to try to. Jinder Mahal returned on Raw, so that was something. Heath Slater cut under a pretty damn good promo. As always, he's been killing it recently. And then Mahal beat him for a Raw contract, which was weird. But, yeah? Do we like this? I don't know.
Don't hinder Jinder.
Stop it. What's wrong with you?
That's his music, right? His entrance music.
Well, he got a jobber entrance, no, he didn't get an entrance at all, did he?
No, he's already being buried.
I think he just walked out with what's his dick, Slater, during the commercial break.
Yeah, the two-man band.
The two-man band. All right.
Well, Jinder's actually a Canadian. Did you know that?
Is he really? Where's he from?
Yeah.
Seriously.
He's from Canada.
Well, where in Canada, moron? I knew that.
I don't know. Canada's a big place. How the hell do I know that?
You're a smart guy. Figure it out. You're well, okay. All right. So that segment was cool. Mahal, yes, won a contract to Raw, and that was that. Slater's still mad about it. Next up, Rollins and Balor finally, and they were teasing this Balor interview for a few segments, which was an awesome idea. It's getting people really accustomed to what Balor is, what he's all about, his gimmick, his whole story. My one problem with this, and I think Rollins and Balor had a good back and forth going. It really put Finn over. They needed to let Finn go on a little bit more and tell the audience who he is, because you say it every week to shove it up the Marks' assholes. There are only about 1.6 million that have the network right now, and about 3.1 to 2 million who watch Raw. So already, without even going into the real numbers, only about 1.5 of those 3.1 know who he is, right? Okay, there might be some that illegally stream the network, watch replays on the website or on websites, whatever. But let's just say 1 million. Let's say 1 million people watch NXT a week, which is pretty damn good, actually. So that's 1 million that's a third of your audience knows who he is. They should have let him talk longer, because then they would have gotten to know who Finn is, let him talk a little bit, see his personality, see his character, and I think it would have done really well. It was a good segment, but Seth interrupted way too early.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of trying not to bury his height, since he's only about 5'9". He's about Jericho's size as far as height. So they did a good job of trying to protect that, but I thought they didn't do him any favors here at all with this promo. In fact, I thought it made him look, JV team, the way the promo went. It was Seth Rollins just kind of like swatting a fly, or some jobber in the mid-card he was going to just beat and wasn't concerned about. It just, he talked down to Finn. He didn't seem to take him seriously.
Of course. Why would he do otherwise?
Because Finn Balor just beat, it's like...
Okay, Finn beat Roman. All right. So did Seth. So what's the big deal? Right?
Well, the big deal is that obviously you should take him seriously based on that.
Well, he wasn't not taking him seriously. He was giving him props the whole promo. Like how
he was laughing at him. The whole thing was like a big joke.
But he's still an unknown commodity to him.
To him, didn't he watch him beat Rusev, the U.S. champion, and Roman Reigns, a 3-time champion?
I don't know. See, I didn't mind it. I thought they were. Of course.
Tell me this, okay? Tell me this. What did this do to get Finn Balor over even more than he already was?
He came out on top after the segment ended. That's all.
How did he come out on top?
What didn't he do a move on him near the end and made him scurry out of the ring?
That's how he's getting over.
It's oh no, he said he's gonna kick his ass, and people pop for that for some stupid reason.
Well, they popped because he said ass. Because it's so PG now that when you say ass or bitch, it's like woo.
Yeah, really. I don't know why. It's kind of childish. I told you. I think it was good. Any exposure Finn gets is good. Can we just settle on that? He got the 9 o'clock. He got the 9 o'clock. That's not bad.
Yeah. No, I like the exposure, but damn, give him some balls and give him something to say. It's like he's got to be a serious character, not just sit there and take it like a little bitch.
We'll see. I know you're a fan of him, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite short people.
A short person that I'm sure you're very jealous of. All right. Well, okay. You want to talk about big guys with big dicks? Go for it.
Well, I've haven't seen all the pictures, but
yeah,
we've got Rusev defeating Mark Henry, and this was bad, and this was just such a reminded me of the old Raws where they just repeat the same shitty match over and over again. I mean, how many times are we going to see the patriotic Mark Henry destroy the evil foreigner Rusev in his effort to win the U.S. championship and bring it back to America?
Listen, man,
tone that down.
It's the Hall of Pain. It's coming back. Mark Henry's doing it. He's bringing it back.
Well, it was the Hall of Pain watching this match.
That's why I fast forwarded through it. You should have done that. It was much better that way. I had a good view. I had a good view of the beer in my hand and the piece of pizza in my mouth. Yeah, so that segment was pretty pointless. On to another pointless segment of the night. Titus O'Neil, that big fucking dummy, teased a heel turn and beat this is the part of Raw that really pissed me off. He pinned Darren Young clean, pulling the tights.
How stupid was this?
Oh, what? And then Big Balls Backlund is like trying to yell at him. The guy outweighs him by 150 pounds in a foot. Like, what are you really gonna do? So this was like, we're talking about a suspension of reality as pro wrestling. Not quite the case. I thought it was horrible. You're building.
Well, it's like you're pushing Darren Young and this making him great again. Like, how did this help Darren Young get over at all?
It didn't.
Nobody cares about Titus. It's not like he got a lot of heat over it and sympathy. I mean, nobody cares about Titus really. He almost broke Heath Slater's orbital bone at a house show. He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's terrible in the ring. He's a awesome liability.
Very. Very. Okay, moving on to another surprising segment. Gallows and Anderson beat the New Day in about a minute and a half. And they beat him up. Or no, wait, no. Reverse that. The New Day beat them in a minute and a half, and Gallows and Anderson beat them up. With no... What was it? I mean, I hate
this
to be...
No, I mean, we're just calling it like it is. If it's great, it's great. If it sucks, it sucks. You don't like it? Tough shit. Listen to some other fucking Mark podcast.
No, it was really it didn't do anyone any favors. So they lose by roll up in like a minute and a half. So like they lose in a really stupid way, and they're like, I'm fucking mad about it. So they beat them up. Like, that's so dumb. That doesn't prove anything. And then they're trying to mask it with this fake injury from Big E, which is the way they're gonna rip the titles off of them, because it'll be Woods and Kingston. So
this was just another example of illogical booking to me.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, so you have the New Day beat Gallows and Anderson, then all of a sudden Gallows and Anderson they're the number one contenders now. They're going to get a title shot now, right? That's the way what it's looking like.
Yeah,
they're feuding with the tag team champions and have never beat them, right? I mean, maybe they won once, I don't know, but basically they've repeatedly been made to look foolish. They put them in a match, and Gallows and Anderson get squashed, and now all of a sudden they beat them up, and it's like they're in the number one contenders picture. Figure that one out. But I'll say, I said it at WrestleMania. I mean, Gallows and Anderson should be the team to beat the New Day for the titles.
Yeah, easily.
Do it already if you're going to just fucking do it. The New Day are so over that they don't need the titles anymore.
Yeah.
Someone like Gallows and Anderson could benefit from them.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Charlotte Sasha Banks scenario, you know?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they should do. As I sigh. Cesaro in a backstage segment with Mick, Steph, and Sheamus bitching about their spot in the company. Both of them did. And then Mick's like, look, Cesaro, you just got a shoulder injury. You're a liability. And then Sheamus is like, well, damn it. You know, I did all this stuff back in the day. And then Mick's like, listen, you two in a match. The one who impresses, here's the thing. The one that impresses them the most gets a future title shot. And Cesaro beat Sheamus, and it was okay. It wasn't bad.
This is another example of the same match we've seen over and over and over again. But put some logs in the fireplace because you're about to get a hot take.
Oh, boy.
Sheamus has more charisma than Cesaro.
I'm not going to... Okay. And? Yeah, continue.
That's all I'm saying. You know, Cesaro is overrated by hardcore wrestling fans. He's tall. He's got a good, lean physique. He's a good in-ring technician. There's no denying that. But this is professional wrestling, people. This is a fake fight, okay? So just because he's a good fake fighter doesn't mean that he needs to win world titles. You know.
It's true.
Look, it's true. He needs to have some promo ability, some charisma, connect with the audience, and you know, and he's had momentum before, but he's got to step it up. And I always kind of thought that may be missing. And when I saw him live, when we went to that house show in Raleigh, it really kind of connected even more for me because man, he was good in the ring, but he just lacked any charisma, and it was just like wow. And he's got to fix that if he's ever going to improve. Now, look, I know English isn't his first language. He's ESL, English is second language. So he speaks a lot of languages, and that's great. But they've either got to let the audience know that, or they've got to improve on his ability to speak English. He's got to be able to do that to advance in the card. Otherwise, he's going to stay right where he's at in the mid-card. And frankly, that's where he belongs right now.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with you there. As every mark just got up and tweeted about their displeasure. I got nothing for him. I just don't. Last but not least, maybe the best segment of the night, actually. Paul Heyman is back, and he was with this big performance-enhanced beast of a man, Brock Lesnar. And they were there to call out Mr. Orton, who's had a couple wellness policy violations himself, if you don't mind me saying. Heyman was great, legendary as always, and out of nowhere, literally, as the shirt says on the back, RKO was taunting him, which was really funny, ran up into the stands, and Stephanie's yelling and shit, and he takes off his shirt, and I heard her yell, he just took his shirt off. I don't know why that matters, but she yelled it anyway, right next to the camera, so I picked that up, and it ended with Brock pissed off, and Randy up in the crowd doing his little thing, and that was it. Best segment of the night.
Boom. Randy nails him with the estrogen killer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you expected a better reaction, didn't you? Sorry, you struck out. I thought that no. Seriously. That truly was an RKO out of nowhere. Finally. And Heyman sold it perfectly.
Yeah, you know, Heyman's really good, but sometimes, you know, he's on TV too much, and his stuff just gets kind of repetitive.
He hasn't been on TV in 4 or 5 months.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if they have him on TV every week and he's doing the same, my name is Paul Heyman, and blah blah blah.
See, I like that.
So, yeah, you know, they've got to mix it up a bit. Jesus Christ, this guy's getting paid a fucking shit ton of money. Could they not have him talk a little bit? The guy literally comes in and makes 6 figures in an appearance, probably, to shake up and down and let us watch his boobies jiggle as he just shakes up and jumps up and down side to side and stares in the audience and smirks occasionally.
Brock doesn't need to talk, dude.
Hey, could he say something? I mean, this feud is his. Could he not give us a sentence of what he's going to do to Randy Orton?
No. Screw that.
This feud has such little momentum for a major match going into a major pay-per-view. It really, really does. It's in recent history, this is definitely one of the major matches on a major pay-per-view that has the least momentum that I can think of offhand. It's like they already put another superstar and another brand on a show, but they had to do it because there's such little momentum and there's no story whatsoever why these two are going to wrestle at SummerSlam. There's none. There's fucking nothing. They're just making matches. Like, we want to see two people just have a fake fight in the ring. How about you give us a fucking story, you lazy assholes?
There is a story. They both did steroids.
Yeah. It's brought them together.
Seriously.
And it's torn them apart.
Yeah.
Look, it's fine. It's fine for what it is. I would prefer to see Seth and Finn get the last second, but look, I get it. Brock Lesnar's not a draw anymore. They think he is. It's proven because 400,000 people tuned out and at the end and did not want to see Brock Lesnar. I mean, that was just a fact.
Well, see,
almost.
If it was
it's a fact.
If it was 2 hours, you would have had a jump.
Or if he was a real draw, you would have stayed. Fact. So it is what it is. It doesn't have a lot of momentum, and so they're trying to do something now with a few weeks left. So it's fine. I mean, it's fine, but it's not exactly. I mean, I have no desire to see this match, really. I mean, it's just going to be a match for me.
Okay. All right. So now let's go on to SmackDown. And just like Dean said, the Ziggler and Ambrose promo. What'd you think to open the show?
Oh, I loved it. This is, and Dean and I both have talked about the wacky Dean versus the Shield version of Dean. This is a great example of that. This was the Shield version of the Dean. This was Dean in the spotlight, getting his chance to be the guy on the brand, and I thought he knocked it out of the park. I mean, this guy, you give him the ball and let him run with it and do this every week and continue to improve and build upon it, and he is going to be amazing. I thought this was great. You know, he wasn't a kiss ass. He played it a little bit heel with Dolph. He was everything that I want him to be in a character. And as was Dolph Ziggler. He's had enough. He's got an edge. He wants everybody to know they can kiss his ass if they don't think he can do it. It was great. This is the most compelling story of any major match or any match period going into SummerSlam.
Well said. Good job. All right. Apollo Creed, the man's shirt who I am wearing right now, won the number one contender triple threat match by roll up to face The Miz at SummerSlam for the IC title. And after that, your dreamboat, Big Banner, killed everyone in the ring. Let him lie in there, and he left like an asshole should.
Yeah, it was great. He basically had Kalisto where he wanted him. He got distracted, got hit from behind. Basically, he fell over the ropes, and then Apollo won with the roll up over Kalisto. So Baron Corbin was protected in this match. He dominated a lot of this match. He dominated after the match. They've really protected him. It's great. They're continuing to do a good job of that. At some point, though, they do need to put him into a feud. They do need to let him dominate some people and get some wins. But they're doing a good job in these defeats of keeping him strong. So I like that a lot because, frankly, I didn't expect him to win because he's got more potential and I think bigger plans than the Intercontinental Championship. Whereas I think this is going to be exactly what Apollo Crews needs.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
I think The Miz is good at getting people over and playing that heel where you want to see him get his butt kicked, but also he's weak enough he could lose any given night of the week so it automatically makes Apollo a threat. So I like this.
Wow, I can't believe you would say Apollo Creed winning is something you'd actually like to see, especially over Baron Corbin. I'm surprised. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Never would have thought I'd hear it with my own 2 ears. Well, SmackDown was really consistent, and you want to know why? Because we had those 2 good segments in a row. One being the match, one being the really, really good promo between the 2 guys, Dean and Dolph. Then we get the in-ring debut of American Alpha, and it wasn't a squash match. Unfortunately, it came to the expense of the Vaudevillains, who should not be jobbing to anybody. However, it still worked out well, and they got a decent pop. Like I said, only 1.5 million watch the network. I bet only 1 million watch NXT. So for what it's worth, American Alpha, I think they're going to be the best tag team of all time. I've been saying that for weeks, months even. So it's a very, very huge statement from me. However, I'm very confident in them. They're just so damn good, it's scary.
Yeah, they're very good. It was a very solid debut, and I think they're going to be just, very big stars. Man, and SmackDown is lucky to have them. Look, they should have been facing a jobber team, and I heard that the rumor was that may have been the original plan. Look, I think this comes down to Simon Gotch is in the hot seat over his fight, and this was, again, punishment for that. So I think that's why the Vaudevillains lost. I think it was a punishment. Instead, that's why they didn't do a jobber. But great debut for American Alpha. I think they are bound to be in the title picture sooner than later and champions by WrestleMania, I would imagine. They will be introducing the tag team titles and the women's title on SmackDown fairly soon. So I think they're a great fit to battle for the titles.
Tag team title has to go to them first on SmackDown, right? Have to.
Well, you look at the lineup. The only thing I could see is if they want to give it to a heel team and have the American Alpha chase them and then win it. But I'm trying to think, really, who would that heel team be? Are they going to just?
No, they're on Raw.
Would it be the Wyatts? Would it be? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out because it seems like they would be the no-brainer unless they wanted to do the chase. But I can't think of what heel team would really work for that. And I don't think the Vaudevillains would. No,
and the Usos, one of them's now hurt, major injury, so they're out. I don't know who would. Yeah, I have no idea.
I think if the Usos turned heel, it would work.
But one of them just had a major injury; they can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really trying to think. I don't know what they're going to do. But man, they're going to be good, and I think they could both do well in singles as well.
Absolutely. So the promo between Styles and Cena. Thoughts? I thought they both showed up well. I really don't have any complaints. I didn't have a lot to say about this show because it all just made sense. And when it makes sense, I don't have material.
Yeah, overall, I thought they did a great job of selling their match in the feud.
Yeah.
If I had to nitpick some things, it probably went too long. Cena sometimes sounds a little bit phony when he gets on his sanctimonious rants. And he talked about AJ just wanting to be a good wrestler. Well, that's what they're there for in kayfabe. It's wrestling. They're supposed to want to be good wrestlers. So I thought that was a stupid insult.
And Daniel Bryan was pretty pissed.
Yeah, he shot on him. I probably won't do that again. But no, he was right. I think he was right. But overall, I thought this was really good. AJ has found his groove as an excellent heel. He's doing his best work ever, I think, right now.
Easily.
As far as an overall character. And I think this is going to be another great match going into SummerSlam.
Absolutely. I think it has a chance to steal the show. They're both that good, for sure. So before we get into the women and the rest of it, I think there's only a couple things we have left to touch on about SmackDown Live. What do you think of those backstage anchor desk interviews? I kind of like them. They're neat. They're different.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
There was a couple tonight, right? It was Carmella, who's good on the mic despite what everyone else says, and then that charisma vacuum piece of shit. Natalia, she's not a piece of shit. I'm sure she's really nice.
What the fuck?
You know what? Oh, okay. Can I just say this right now? David Otunga needs a flaming arrow right in his hand so he doesn't die, because we don't want that. Well, I want him hurt enough so he's off the show for a few months.
He said, you know what, he's
terrible.
Look, he's not very good. His problem is his problem is that he sounds like he's doing voiceover work. Okay, and it's like the match everything's being called by JBL and Morrow, right? Yeah. And he's doing a voice. I can't talk. Fuck this.
Voiceover.
Voiceover. He's doing voiceover in an office in Connecticut somewhere, and he's just throwing in random lines after something is done.
So like
that's what I feel like.
So like 2K16 commentary.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel he's like. He's got to work on that, and maybe with time they improve. I like Morrow a lot. He's got to tone down the pop culture references, I think. He's probably being pushed to do that because they love that shit.
He is.
JBL's been quiet. Maybe they chewed his ass out. I don't know, but he was quiet. It was much more tolerable this week. So yeah, that was fine overall.
All right. So yeah. So the booking of the women's superstars, and the reason I thought of Otunga was so we all saw when Carmella was coming out for her match and Natalya beats her up from behind, right? And I swear Otunga said something like, well, I never saw Bret Hart take anybody out or something like that. And then and I yelled so I go to a buddy's house for Smackdown every Tuesday. And I said, except for everyone he took out, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't know if he was actually scripted or told to say that. I don't know, to put heat on Natalya, but it was kind of like a dumb comment because, I guess unless you're insulting the fans' intelligence, you wouldn't really think that to be the case.
Bret Hart's a heel. He was a heel. Like, what the shit?
He was a great heel with the Team Canada gig on Raw.
Yeah, and whatever. And then someone on Twitter said, I see a lot of Owen Hart in Natalya, and I almost put a knife in my throat.
No, I liked what they did here. I'm just going to tell you I liked the booking of the women superstars here on SmackDown.
Oh, well, okay, let's do Carmella and Natalya first.
Okay. So they set it up with the backstage segment, which I really liked because they're introducing a reason for a match. We're not just going to have two guys in their underwear fake fight. We're going to give you a story. This is pro wrestling. We're going to give you characters and a story, and that's going to lead to two people wanting to fight.
Yeah.
Imagine that. That was great. It was basic. It's exactly one of the major things that's been missing in professional wrestling these days. It was great. So I liked that they set up the match with the story, and I liked that Natalya came out and attacked her from behind. The match is not going to get Carmella over. Let's face it. What's going to get her over is babyface sympathy.
Yep.
And that's going to come from Natalya beating the shit out of her. Right? So you're getting the audience conditioned to a reaction of sympathy because let's face it, she came out to crickets. I mean, I could have heard a mouse fart when she came out. But now they're building sympathy because the evil Natalya is attacking her from behind. And it's not fair. And it's not nice. So I liked it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame. I bet you she'd be over if she was with Enzo and Cass for like 6 months and then just drifted away. Yeah, absolutely. She, probably shouldn't have been split up with him, but they don't do that deal in the main roster. They don't, it's just stupid. But yeah,
no, I mean, they're just be patient. They're gonna have a match, and Carmelo hopefully she'll be a little more over when it happens, and that's the whole goal here, folks. You have to be patient.
Absolutely, I say that every single week. Becky Lynch and Eva Marie. Becky Lynch, I'm mad at her, actually. She's dating an MMA fighter. He calls himself Cool Hand Luke, so I want to smack him upside the head. But, oh, well, she's gorgeous, and she did really well in her match on Tuesday. Best match of the night, 5 stars. So that was awesome. And where do you think – now, on the rumor mill from good old Meltzer, Dave is apparently saying that and I think it was Dave, that Eva Marie is going to be the face of the SmackDown brand for the women, and she'll be a major part and get a huge push. because she faked an injury. She's doing the injury gimmick on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know what news site that came from. I can tell you this. Anyone who doesn't think she's going to be a major player on SmackDown in the women's division is just probably blind.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious. I love it. I think they should put the title on her. Put the title on her and have a big babyface chase her and defeat her for the title. And she's got natural heat. Nobody likes her. The entrance is epic. It has superstar written all over it. It's obnoxious. I love it. And I love this gimmick. She comes out. She gets a little minor injury, of course, in kayfabe, and she can't compete. It's great. And she's going to keep doing that. And people are going to boo the shit out of her, and they're going to want to see her get her ass kicked. I think it's great.
That
doesn't mean when I say it's great, don't get me wrong. She can't wrestle worth a goddamn. Nobody's denying that, okay? Nobody's denying that. She sucks, okay? She's not The Rock. She's not Shawn Michaels in the ring. We get that. But when it comes to characters and natural heat, because everybody hates her, then yes, this works definitely.
Do you think she's as good as Chris Benoit?
I think she's a better person than Chris Benoit, and maybe a better worse. She's definitely taller than Chris Benoit.
I think Eva Marie's like 5'9", 5'10". I think that's a shoot. I think she's 5'10".
Taller than Finn Balor.
Now hold on, I gotta Google that. Hey, by the way, I'm going back to iPhone.
Okay. Good.
Android fucking sucks. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm not a fan of the Android at all.
Me neither. Aliens are not cool. All right, so hold on. Natalie Coyle. Oh, she took Jonathan's last name. Good for her. She's 5'8".
Yeah.
She's 5'8". Hold on. Fergal Devitt. 5'11". Screw you, Brad.
No, he's not 5.
It's Wikipedia. They don't go
care.
off WWE's height.
Yeah, okay. Wikipedia is people on the internet logging in and making changes themselves. That's not accurate. He's Jericho's height about 5'9". Legitimately serious. Now he puts on wrestling boots. Maybe he's an inch or so taller. That's true.
Wikipedia. Okay, who are they sourcing? WWE's profile. He's 6 foot flat.
Yeah. That's great. That is classic.
All right, guys, tweet at me, Fisher Wrestling, FISHER Wrestling, to see if you think Brad has a height fetish. I'm gonna make a poll. I'm gonna make a poll about it. But no, in all honesty, I think even take it from me. I'm like a little bit of a mark because everyone is a mark in their own way. If Eva Marie ever won the championship, I would be pissed off. She's so good of a heel. She doesn't try because she doesn't have to. And the people in the back know how much she sucks, and they're using it to their advantage. It's kind of a catch-22, actually. If I was given that gimmick, I'd be kind of embarrassed and humiliated. But at the end of the day, I'd realize how well it would work, so I wouldn't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I want to be the fly on the wall, like Eva. I'm not going to do an impression. I don't feel good. So Eva, we have a gimmick idea for you. So you're going to go out there, you're going to shoot an injury, and just come back. They're going to hate it, and then that's going to be it. And she's like, well, what about? And if she ever asks, well, I want to wrestle. Yeah, well, trust me.
I can't wait to see her do the sliced bread where she just kind of slow walks to the corner and her opponent has to push her up in the air and do the flip for her over top.
Listen,
man, you watch it and it's like you're watching in slow motion, but it's actually in real time.
If she beats Becky Lynch for the title, I'm jumping out my window. It's only like 2 stories. I'll be fine if I actually end up doing it. I would actually, I might actually cry a little. I really would. I really would. Okay, well, we have a. I didn't sleep well last night. Didn't sleep well at all. I was taking these new height pills, and they're keeping me awake at night. I want to go over, man. Lesnar ended up, and he was rumored for SmackDown, according to P. Winsider earlier in the day on Tuesday. And he and Paulie were there. He got through the security they had, which I thought was a really cool touch all night, even though these were like big jabrones capping out at 5'6". Two of them were Dalton Castle's part of his Party Peacock stable. And he F5 Randy. He left, and security had to escort him out of the ring, which was I thought it was really neat. I love the security idea. Give us some realism, and I think they did that.
Yeah, the only thing I would have liked to have seen here is, maybe the security puts up a fight with him. They kind of just let him walk into the ring. I thought they should have, you're security. You should have to fight him to prevent him from going in the ring. I don't care if he's Brock Lesnar. Fight him! Fight him, motherfucker!
Yeah,
that's what I think. So they should have done that. I'm not sure that I would have even necessarily had Brock Lesnar attack Randy Orton, just because nobody thinks Randy Orton is really a threat. Nobody thinks he's going to win this match. So why not leave it with the physical part is Randy Orton getting one up on Brock so that it gives somewhat of an appearance that he actually has a chance to win.
Well, I think Randy's going to go over at SummerSlam.
I think he should. Fuck it. Everybody should be Brock Lesnar at this point.
Well, no, he did win the UFC fight in good fashion.
He's a cheater.
Oh, I can't really disagree, I guess. Anywho.
No, it is what it is. I mean, I think Baron Corbin should beat him strong style in a shoot fight live on SmackDown.
No, he should fight Sin Cara.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Sin Cara would probably knock him out.
He might. He's undefeated.
He is. He's 4-0, man. All right, so moving on to the main event, which really upset me a little bit. Not really upset me, but kind of scared me. We had Bray versus Dolph, and it was really cool earlier in the night. If Bray won, he got Ziggler's title shot at SummerSlam. Cool idea. They're fighting for something. It's the main event. It made sense, and I like that. It's logical, consistent. It's good. Has continuity. I'm done giving him props. So, good match. Except for earlier in the night, Dolph went too fast on a roll-up when he was on the ground, and wouldn't you know it, he rolled Bray's ankle, sprained it, and luckily they went to commercial right after that. He kicked out of the pin, and apparently in commercial, Bradley, they threw up the X to end the match, and Bray refused. They still put on a decent showing. Dolph ended up pinning Bray. He needs to stay over, so I like that. And then Eric Rowan came out, and both of them attacked Dolph, and we see the resurgence of the Wyatt family.
Yeah, this was a good match. The intensity with Dolph was fantastic, and your confidence in Dolph is increasing, and a lot of people probably thought Bray would be in this position, not Dolph. So you're getting hooked throughout the show. Dolph looks great, but is it going to be Dolph or is it going to be Bray at SummerSlam? And they play this out through backstage segments, etc., throughout the show. So you've got a hook to stay tuned to the main event. And I hope Raw's paying attention to that because they failed to do that. And so the people stay tuned. They watched the match. It was a good match. I thought Dolph Ziggler showed a lot of edge and intensity. I thought Dean Ambrose was fantastic on commentary.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Obviously, Bray sprained his ankle. They're hoping that he'll be back to events in several days to wrestling again, but we'll see, I guess. But yeah, he wanted to continue the match. They went to an impromptu commercial break because of it. And they finished fine. It was a very good finish. He did the zigzag. He kicked out. I was like, oh, damn. But his super kick is now the finish.
Yeah.
And this is another thing I love about SmackDown. They have a super kick. And that's the end of the match. They don't have 5 super kicks to end the match. They have 1. And so this was really good. And then you see Bray Wyatt. He's not totally buried because after the match, he goes on the attack. And then you see the dynamic, which has been really great between Dolph and Dean. Dean steps in to save Dolph, and he gets attacked, and of course we see it's Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt standing tall. I've only got to assume it leads to a tag team match, of course, now with the overseas tour, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but you know, even that with the injury, it's kind of been questioned as maybe we get Dean and Bray on SmackDown, but I think it's leading to a tag team scenario. But what we're going to see is we're going to see Dean and Dolph play out until SummerSlam. They're not going to put them in a match together because, remember, they've done this many times. Put them in a match right before the pay-per-view against each other. They're instead going to put them together and kind of play off. You know, it's just really been great how they've done it. I was really impressed. I thought they did a very good job. And, you know, from a storyline standpoint, I think this is just so much better than what they're doing on Raw.
So, now, I mean, that begs the question, what was the better show? I got to go with the Blue Brand. They're impressing me.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the best show this week was SmackDown. I don't even think it's close. And when I looked on Twitter, a lot of different websites with Twitter accounts had polls, which was the better show this week. And overwhelmingly, on every single poll I saw, SmackDown was rated as the better show by a majority of fans.
Yeah, and it's funny. All of us were saying, well, Raw has more of the superstars. They have the power. They have everything. Hey, that's great, but SmackDown has the advantage of being 2 hours, and they can do a lot more with their guys, which I think is really benefiting them so far.
Well, they're doing a lot of good things. You know, they're doing the little side screen giving you facts about the wrestlers.
Yeah,
you know that Matt Hardy used to have when he was the version 1 character.
Yeah, Eva Marie was the 2013 Diva Search champ. You know that?
Yeah, I don't remember that one, but yeah, I mean, so you've got the backstage segments, you've got characters, you've got storylines, you've got guys not kicking out of finishers. It's all the basic stuff of pro wrestling that Raw really isn't doing that well, if at all. So, yeah, SmackDown is the underdog I'm pulling for. I thought it was clearly the better show this week.
Agreed. Absolutely. So now, while we can, let's go to some news and notes before we end the show this Friday morning. And we have a new show coming back, allegedly, that means absolutely nothing to me. But King of the Ring looks like is on its way back to the big screen.
Yeah. So I see they did this, and I mean, I guess I have mixed thoughts on this because for me, you know, it's like, what is this leading to? They've pretty much buried the King of the Ring in the meaning of it, and if they're going to do it, take away, I think, the cheesy scepter crown gimmick and make it, you know, give it more of a sports feel. Give it a meaning. What do you get if you win King of the Ring? You know,
title shot immediately.
Yeah, give me something. Give me a title shot. Make it worth something, but don't give me a crown and a cape and a scepter to carry around. That's been buried by R-Truth and Wade Barrett. I mean, it's just not even, you know, you can't take that seriously anymore. So that's my take on it.
So Paige was pulled from next week's live event tour overseas due to an injury. The Meltzer Bomb reported that she has neck and shoulder injuries, but vaguely mentioned she has other issues going on that are not significant. So before that, her mom, Soraya Knight, tweeted to all of the internet wrestling journalists and said that don't keep, in so many words, don't spread the bullshit. She doesn't have any heat backstage. I think she's a liar, but that's beside the point. That's only my opinion. However, what the fuck is up with Paige? She's one of their best wrestlers by far. Very good character, great on the mic, and yet she's selling herself to Total Divas and that entire factory of madness. And she doesn't care about. I don't think she gives a shit. I think she's fine dating Big Papi, and they're horse fucking all over the place, and that's great. Good for them. They're in love. Fine. You guys are 13 years apart. But I don't think she cares anymore.
Well, could you describe what horse fucking is for me?
I don't know. I just say words.
So that would be nay. You can't.
Look at that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's a good one.
Okay, so, Meltzer kind of alluded to this, right? He says, yes, she's got neck and shoulder injuries. That's why she's been pulled from, for example, the overseas tour. But he alluded to Paige having, quote unquote, other issues, which he says aren't insignificant. So apparently there's some major issues going on outside of her injuries, and it sounds like some drama city. So I'm very curious as to what it is. Her mother, as always, has been uber defensive on social media.
That's not good.
No, it doesn't. It's not a good look at all. But yeah, there's obviously something going on there. What is it? I don't know. Who knows?
Hey, she's happy with Alberto Del Rio, her poppy. That's all that matters. As long as you're happy in life, that's all that matters. And honestly, I doubt she will ever fight for the title again. Maybe I'm wrong. She's only 23. She's 24. He's 24. We'll see. And that's the thing. She's only 24 years old. So of course she's not as mature as the others. I think Sasha Banks is an anomaly for what in her and Charlotte and Becky. They're very, very rare exceptions to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
But Paige is more of a risk taker. Someone that doesn't go by the rules, an anarchist, and that's going against her. AJ Lee did the same thing, but she was smart. I'm not calling Paige an idiot. Don't get me wrong, but she's fucking up, and it's starting to come out.
Yeah, I mean, the talk I've heard before is that she's kind of from a family with kind of a trashy reputation in England. That's what I've heard. I don't know that to be the case. That's just the talk, the rumor mill. As far as the family, it's a wrestling family. They have a school and everything. I mean, they all wrestle.
Yeah.
So that's the talk. That's the talk about the reputation. Is it true? I don't know, but she's very young and impressionable and immature, and maybe she should focus a little less on Poppy's peenie and a little more on doing her job at work.
Just a little, right? So, like what's it called? I had your thing open too. Styles, Cena, Rowan, and the Usos and Apollo Creed are scheduled to be overseas, so they're going to be missing Tuesday's live Smackdown. That's the show that Paige got pulled from, which leaves us with who as far as wrestlers on SmackDown? Oh, it's going to be a Baron Wasteland, a Baron Corbin Wasteland. Get it? The Dark Match is scheduled as Ambrose versus Bray.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I think they should just do a handicap match and have Baron Corbin go over everybody. One against the whole roster.
Oh, so kind of like the Orton and Cena versus the whole roster.
Yeah, where they buried the whole roster. Yeah, just like that.
But how do you want Baron to do it?
Strong style.
Okay.
In a shoot fight.
In a shoot fight. Does he have to fight Sin Cara?
He has to fight Sin Cara, but he's got to have one hand behind his back.
Okay. What, Sin Cara or Baron Corbin?
Well, Baron Corbin, he's a Golden Gloves boxing champion 3 times.
Well, Sin Cara did beat up Simon Gotch. Just saying.
Okay, but Sin Cara is too short to even reach Baron Corbin's face.
No, seriously, there's gonna be some different. So, okay, for next week's SmackDown, we're gonna warn you 4 or 5 days early. Don't expect a lot. Okay, so you don't have to bitch about it later. Problem solved.
I think they're gonna have to get really creative here. I think that the WWE really screwed the writers over with doing this. I think they're just putting them in a position to fail. But they're going to have to make Miz a big part of the show. Baron Corbin, they're going to have to take some guys and really do something with them. And they'll probably bring back Kurt Hawkins then, or Shelton Benjamin. They'll do some things, but that's going to be interesting because they don't have a lot of real established guys in the mid card. Not yet.
Not yet, but I think they will. Just like I said, just give us some time. One last thing before we end our show. Seth Rollins was on a radio program in Atlanta, Georgia, called a Southside Morning Radio Program. And let me look. He asked if Reigns had to go through the infamous Wrestlers Court, and Rollins said he didn't, noting that he had never experienced a trial before, adding that he doesn't believe the tradition is upheld these days anyway. And by the way, that was Undertaker's gimmick, and everyone bought into it because they thought it was cool. But trust me, there's no bullying in the locker room anymore because there used to be every single day. And in regards to the rumors of Reigns being forced to apologize to the entire locker room, Rollins said that those reports were blown way out of proportion. No shit. I think that was Lion Alvarez that said that. Rollins said, no. He just addressed the locker room just as a locker room leader would. And he said that he was a guy who wanted to talk about the situation that was not a wrestler's court situation at all. That is more of a lighthearted affair anyway. This was strictly a professional thing between he and the company.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a wrestler's court, then Seth Rollins probably would have been in it for his cock pictures being all over the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
And having a girlfriend who was a Nazi supporter.
Yeah, absolutely. But
who's now quit the wrestling business.
Yeah, she did. How about that?
Yeah, sayonara.
Seriously, I don't think she'll be missed that much. But either way, Roman did his time, and how about that? Roman and Rusev for the United States title at SummerSlam. Book it, baby. It's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a definite demotion for Roman. It's yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think they're going to have a good match. There's no question about that. I just kind of questioned. It's like, here we go again with the motive of trying to make Roman the babyface American hero and overcoming the odds. And I just don't like where this is going because I feel like it's a different version of the same rinse and repeat we've seen for 2+ years.
Did Big Mark think Kurt Angle was coming out when Rusev cut that heel promo?
He was hoping so. Big Mark was hoping so.
Okay.
Yeah, he was marking out.
All right. Well, Roman's fat, so
yeah.
Now that we have that settled, what?
I just don't like the beard either. I mean, it makes him kind of look heelish.
It does, but he's not a heel. He's a babyface.
God damn. Everybody loves Roman.
No one likes Roman. He makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I hate to end on a note like that, but we're gonna run out of time. And let's be honest, you're probably listening to us in the car, and you probably already got there already. So don't be lazy going to work, and you're only probably a little bit late. Where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me pissing people off at the VOTV podcast, running our Twitter account at the Voices of the Voiceless podcast, VOTV. Tweet me, follow me, I'll follow you back, more than likely, unless you're boring, and then I won't.
Yeah.
Requote me, whatever you do on Twitter, let's do that. Let's have fun. Let's discuss wrestling because that's what we all love.
Absolutely. And you can follow me at Fisher Wrestling on Twitter, Fisher Wrestling, and at Wrestling News Hub on Facebook, and twitch.tv/JohnFish3. And if you need to know how to spell those, tweet me and ask. Got to get you there anyway. And all the follows are free. It costs you zero money. None whatsoever. And you know what? We're not one of those pathetic podcasts like a lot I know that used to be from TMZ and ask for a Patreon. Fuck that. You listening is the only support that we need. So we're good. Just letting you all know. Did I say that right, Brad? I'm now a heel.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Of course. So, anywho, do you have anything to say before we go? And by the way, the music that you're listening to right now on our way out is Bobby Roode's new NXT theme, which is fucking incredible. It's like Freddie Mercury's alive and kicking.
It's great. It is glorious.
And it certainly will be. Have yourselves a glorious week. We'll see you all then over the internet. And by the way, all hail Big Ben.